Alright guys, Brighton have just beaten Liverpool by 3 goals now, and just an abysmal performance from Liverpool, and it's been like that a lot lately. I know Liverpool haven't been in the most worst run of football, results ever, sorry. Like before the Brentford game in the league last week, I think we had won 4 in a row, but the performances since the return after the World Cup have just been shocking, and they've got progressively worse because the first 2 games against Man City and Aston Villa weren't too bad. We beat Aston Villa 3-1, and tight, like a narrow loss to Man City in the League Cup 3-2 wasn't too bad. But since then, the 2-1 win against Leicester, we were quite poor in that, and the 3-1 loss against Brentford, shocking. 2-2 draw against Wolves at the weekend, they were unlucky not to win. And this game, I mean, this might have even been the worst of the lot, because Brighton, fair play to Brighton first of all, they were superb. But Liverpool offered absolutely nothing in attack in the first half, and second half there wasn't a lot either. I'm struggling to think of any shots on target. I think Canate had a fairly tame header from a corner, but other than that, Robert Sanchez was really left with not a lot to do, to be honest. And considering when you look at Brighton's defence, what they've got, Liverpool just have to do more. Even with the injuries Liverpool have got, there's not, you can't really look at this Liverpool team and make up any excuses, because the only defender who's missing is Van Dijk. We've got our best midfield out, and okay, we're missing a few attackers. We're having to play Oxlade-Chamberlain, but Salah is playing, one of the first names on the team sheet, and Gakpo, our new £40 million signing's playing. So the only real weakness in this team is the fact that we haven't got Van Dijk playing, and Oxlade-Chamberlain's having to play on the wing. Other than that, it's a decent side on paper. And when you look at Brighton, you'd probably say there's bigger weaknesses in Brighton's team. The fact that they're having to play Pascal Gross at right back. I know he's played there multiple times this season, but it's not an ideal situation for them. But yeah, Brighton, just the better side, all ends up. They beat us, all ends up. They were the better side. I mixed that up completely, but it was just so poor from Liverpool throughout the game. There were points where Liverpool couldn't even just string something as simple as 2 or 3 passes together. It was that bad at one point. And Brighton's goals, they were all really well taken. Solly March, the first one, came right at the start of the second half after just a poor pass from Matic to Henderson. It gets intercepted, and then 3 passes later, it's in the back of the net, and it was a really well taken goal. And the second one as well, Solly March's second of the game, he had a brilliant game. It was an incredible finish, really. Once again, the ball gets lost by Liverpool in midfield too easily. I think it was McAllister, it might have been, who played it into Solly March, and it was a brilliantly taken finish to find the corner from that sort of angle. And yeah, the final goal is arguably the worst of the lot, actually, because it comes straight from a flick on from a throw-in. And Danny Welbeck, it's just so easy for him to flick the ball past Joe Gomez and volley it in past Alisson. Alisson didn't do a whole lot wrong in this game. In fact, Brighton, in the first half, they were actually awarded a penalty. It wasn't really a penalty, it was a bit of a dive, and also he was just offside, so it was correctly overruled, but it was just constant bombardment of Brighton attacks in that first half, and yeah, just really not good enough from Liverpool. And I just can't see much changing, to be honest, anytime soon for Liverpool, because of the fact that I don't think the attack, the Jota, Diaz, Nunez, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference, all of them coming back, because at the end of the day, Salah's going to be in the starting 11, because out of all the attackers we got, none of them are really right-sided. Firmino and Nunez are central. Nunez can play on the left as well, same with Jota, he can play left or centre. Diaz is pretty much only on the left, and yeah, Salah's the best option on the right, and I can't see what having two more attackers changes if we had them this game. I just think Brighton were much the better side. And yeah, all their players just were much better, especially in midfield. Solly March superb, McAllister superb, Lallana, even Kairi Matoma out on the left had like our defence in constant danger throughout this game. The only Liverpool players I'd give any sort. Well, I thought Liverpool's best player anyway was Alexander-Arnold, because he was the only player who looked like creating anything for the team today. Okay, there were a couple of times where he got caught out by Kairi Matoma on the left, but he still looked like Liverpool's best attacking player and probably the best defending player as well, because both centre-backs, Matip and Konate, today I thought were quite poor, and the protection from the midfield in front of them wasn't that great either. And yeah, just not good enough. Whereas Brighton, their defence and midfield just a level above us. The defence never looked fazed by anything Liverpool did when they went forwards. Not that happened very often. And the midfield three of McAllister, Lallana and Caicedo just looked in complete control over our midfield. So yeah, just nowhere near good enough for a team like Liverpool who have aspirations of getting into the top four, who actually wanted, to win the league again this season and maybe a cup as well, possibly the Champions League. Right now, that looks like zero chance of that happening, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to the rest of the season as a Liverpool fan. But anyway, we'll get into player ratings. Start with Brighton. Sanchez I've given a 6 because he had absolutely nothing to do really, so didn't really do anything wrong. The defence, I've given Pascal Gross and Lewis Dunk 6s, solid performances, but they didn't really have anything to do on that left side. And then Levi Colwill I've given a 7. I thought he was really good on the ball as well as off it, in terms of making sure that like Salah and Gakpo couldn't really link up on the right. Estupinian I've given a 7 as well. Very effective at getting forwards, play some nice 1-2s with McAllister in midfield, and that allowed him to get forward and help carry Matoma down the left, cause a lot of problems. And then into the midfield, I've given Caicedo a 6, or actually now I'm going to up that to a 7. I thought him and McAllister both brilliant. I've given McAllister a 7 as well. I thought they were both brilliant in midfield and completely dominated the midfield three of Liverpool. Solly March I've given an 8, man of the match for me. Took his 2 goals really well and was a constant threat to Liverpool once again, pretty much like all of Brighton's attackers. Lallana I've given a 7, really good at linking up play in like a number 10 role, and I genuinely was left at the end of the game thinking with Lallana, he'd still possibly do a better job in our midfield in this game than than one or two of our midfielders did, and that's being completely honest, because that's how poor our midfield was today. Matoma I've given a 7 as well, constant problems down the left, and then Ferguson I've given a 6. He came off around the hour mark for Welbeck. Ferguson, he didn't play badly, but he just didn't get involved as much as some of the other players. And then Liverpool, Alisson I've given a 6. I don't think he could do anything about any of the goals conceded, to be honest. And yeah, made a couple of decent saves, so yeah, I'm not going to fault him. And then in defence, Trent and Robertson I've given 6s. I thought the 2 full-backs today were arguably Liverpool's 2 best players, the only ones who looked like creating anything and the only ones who looked like defending, to be honest. 2 centre-backs, Matip and Konate. Matip I've given a 4. I thought he was shocking in this game. I like Matip, but the pass for the first goal, terrible. The fact that he didn't get tight enough to his man for the second, awful, and he even got sucked off with about 25 minutes to go for Joe Gomez. Konate I've given a 5. I thought he was marginally better than Matip, but still not really good enough. I mean, especially when you look at the performances he put in for France at the World Cup just gone. Definitely a drop-off in levels, to be completely honest. And then midfield, Henderson and Fabinho I've given both 5s. I didn't think they were really good enough today at all, considering how they got outclassed by the opponents in midfield. And Thiago, I've given a 6 because he didn't do too badly, but I just don't like seeing Thiago in the Liverpool starting 11, to be honest. I didn't think he was too bad today, but he just doesn't suit our midfield at all, his playing style. It slows everything down, which is good for some teams, but it's not for Liverpool, the way Liverpool play. And so, yeah, I'd just rather see him dropped, even if that means, we're a little bit less balanced maybe in terms of possession, but I still feel as though he doesn't offer enough going forward or defending for this Liverpool team. He offers something in possession, but possession isn't what Liverpool needs right now when we're missing a few key players and struggling to control games. And then the entire front for three of Salah, Gakpo and Oxlade-Chamberlain, I've given 5s just because they were not really involved at any point in the game, to be honest. Salah, there was a couple of occasions maybe in the second half where he got on the ball. Gakpo, I forgot was playing. I forgot it was his Premier League debut. He just had no impact whatsoever. And Oxlade-Chamberlain had a good chance in the second half and completely fluffed his lines. And that was about his only involvement in the game whilst he was on the pitch as well. So, yeah, just no impact from any of the front three in this game from Liverpool, to be honest. But Brighton, at this rate, they could finish above Liverpool. Liverpool might not even finish in like the top 8, which would be really embarrassing. That's something that's not happened in my lifetime, or in I don't think Liverpool have finished that low in the history of the Premier League below 8th. I think we got 8th in 2012, which was a not too bad season for Liverpool, actually winning the League Cup and reaching the FA Cup final. We did well in the Cups, but in the league, just poor. And this season doesn't feel too different from that. In fact, I think this season we've won 9 games, drawn 4 and lost 5, or something like that, which or it might, is it 8, 4 and 6 actually, I think it is, which yeah, just nowhere near good enough. won 8, drawn 4, lost 6. So if we lose our next 2 games, and in our next 2 games, one of them's Chelsea, and I know they're in poor form at the moment, but at this point I wouldn't put it beyond them. And whoever we have after that, I mean, we could end up winning as many games as losing this season, which for a club like Liverpool, considering their recent success, would be really embarrassing. But anyway, well done to Brighton. They were superb. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.